don't know what you're missing. Go tell your family, here comes the enemy, blowing up the spot tech remedy. Everybody get up, sing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bible make you get down now. Bring it on, bring it on. Everybody get up, sing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bible make you get down now. Bring it on, bring it on. Keep on moving on, keep on moving on. Keep on moving on, keep on moving on. Be the president of the fifth element. Jimmy Flies took a stone cold's how I'm hitting him. Better get together, put your hands in the sky. Stick 'em up, punk, hit 'em low, hit 'em high. Now I'm the bad boy that you invite for dinner. Ain't got no manners 'cause I eat with my feet.
Hello, everybody, and good morning. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Reptile. Ray's here. Satan's here. Freya. Matthew. Woof, woof, baby. Good to see you. Wait. Research and publishing can wait. Breezy is more important. I think that's the sweetest thing anybody's ever said to me. Thank you, Matthew, but you should probably go do your real life stuff. But, if you want to hang out, I'll be happy to bark at you and keep you company. Okay, let's see who else is here. Did I say hi to Freya, Mandy? Okay, hi, you guys. Okay, Eric, hi. So, okay, I was going to have a foodie free day because I'm really into this TikTok series right now. But she just uploaded a video where I guess she's going to pretend to be a domestic goddess. So I figure we could laugh at her for a little bit. We could watch her attempt to try to do anything. I landed on a weird part and she was doing laundry and I just about fell over and died then because I didn't think she did any laundry ever. I'm having a great morning, Eric. How are you? Satan, good sir, how is hell today? Is it pretty warm there, Satan? It's cold where I am, so I might come visit you in hell, okay? Sounds good? All right, so let's watch Foodie attempt to do something, and then we're going to head over to the series we've been watching. So I think we're about to start part 23. We fell down this rabbit hole. Hugh sent it to me, and it's basically this beautiful woman, by the way. I think she has the best energy. You could tell she's just a really good person. Well, she fell for this pathological liar psycho during COVID, and she's been telling this story of what he's done and the extent he went to try and scam her, and it's absolutely insane. A lot of it's relatable. A lot of us can relate to it, so it's something we've been really into, and it's definitely more interesting than Foodie. Okay, so let's get to the Foodie portion. Can you remove the hell from my throat and chest? That would be great. Ray, I hope you feel better. Get some if you can. It's called Von B tea, and it's lemon, ginger, honey, citron tea, and it's so good. When you're sick, for one thing, it opens your chest, it opens just basically all your airways, so you can feel you could breathe a little bit better. It's a lifesaver. I couldn't survive with being sick without this stuff. Okay, so this is Muslim Canadian housewife in Kuwait. Oh, brother. Let me make this screen a little bit better so you guys can see it. Breezy, she was on TikTok last night, and they raised money to send her to London and Paris. She's getting her dream vacation? Okay, you just made my whole day sharing that. I am so happy for her. She really wanted to go see London, Paris. She had places that she was dreaming of traveling to. And this asshole made her believe she was going on these vacations. So I'm so happy she's finally going to get to see London. That's amazing. All right.
Hi, welcome back to another video. Deep in the shadows, I know the heart. You put one foot in front of the other. Hey there, Beezers. Want a personalized video from me to you?
I wonder who did that intro for her, because she definitely didn't do it.
Ooh, that you can keep forever? Or maybe a special shout out. Or maybe you just have a pressing question for me you want answered. All you have to do is request a personalized video or direct message from me on Cameo. It's super easy. Cameos also make great birthday or special occasion gifts. Hope to hear from you. Bye.
Hi, ma'am. Can you explain to everybody why you're napping on the laundry bag? What? Oh, cute princess. What are you doing, Howie?
Well, if your clothes were in it, it probably smells like fish, and that's why she's there.
You big man.
And that's not the same hamster. That is not the same hamster.
You big man. Hi.
And why do you have a plastic toy in there?
Hi, big man. Look at his hands.
I like how she has it translated at the bottom, but like she can't even read that. But thank you, Foodie. Your hands. Your hands, I don't know what you did to them, but they usually look worse. And your ring, I'm glad we finally got a close-up. Did he put it in like one of the like little machines, you know, when you go to the store, you drop your quarter in, you can get a little ring or a gumball. I'm pretty sure that's where it's from. 9.4. So what is 9.4? Oh my gosh. I'm surprised she knew enough to clean out the lint. Wow. So I was looking it up. Was her blood sugar, did it say 9.4? So that's 170 in case you guys were wondering. I know, so exciting. Oh gosh, let me speed her ass up. There. We sped her up.
Hello guys, assalamu alaikum, welcome back to another video. So some of you have really liked the day in the life of a Kuwait housewife videos. No, I don't have any kids to take care of, but that's okay. I still have a household to maintain, and I have a husband, and I have pets, and I have myself to look after as well. So yeah.
And she's not currently looking after any of those people she just named.
I'm just going to show you a few things I do around here, and I guess this video will be in particular kind of a breakfast routine. Now breakfast, it is noon, it's like 12 p.m. I don't eat very early in the day. I don't like to. I'm just not hungry, so
She's not awake.
I'm not going to force it. But my first meal of the day will be, you know,
when she rolls out of bed.
Breakfast, lunch. And as you saw from my blood sugar reading, I basically find that when I fast in the morning, by the time I take my fasted blood sugar reading, it's always lower because of that. So, but it's actually pretty low today. Usually it's like 10.5. All right, so let's make brunch. But first I'm going to start with this Unicity Slim Balance. It is a soluble fiber drink, all natural, organic, and it has the vitamins I've been getting at the clinic, the B vitamins, B12, and a lot of other minerals and vitamins as well. So I usually take this before eating.
So that stuff is really expensive. You can honestly just get a jar of Metamucil. It's pretty much what it is, just overpriced.
All right, I'm going to down this. Should drink it within 10-15 minutes. And then wait 15 minutes before you eat. So I'll be back. All right, guys?
And if you're wondering if that stuff works, take a good look at her. Just before you spend any money, just take a good look at her and tell me if it's helped her with her eating or weight loss or anything.
Yeah.
She's so red.
So I have some food. I'm gonna heat that up. It's like fava beans, tomato, olive oil, spices like cumin. I'm gonna put just a few potato french fries in the air fryer.
Just a few. Remember the size of her hand. It's massive, so she could grab a lot of those.
It's a little bit of Himalayan salt. All right. This is ready. Okay, so I have some Istanbuli cheese. You know how I love this.
Yeah.
Some black olives.
I've seen a lot of people say that the reason why her face is so like red and blotchy and so sick looking that it could possibly be her liver. FYI, foodie, they make these things called lint rollers. You should really start using one, especially since you're going to be like your gut is going to be hanging over your food. Like you really should do something about this. I would never eat anything she cooked.
It will make doing the dishes easier when you soak them first. I'm sure you guys know that.
Yummy! Poop for breakfast!
Bit of za'atar. So za'atar has like different, it's not just thyme. There's like different seed, like herbs
Thank you.
in there.
Thank you.
There's sesame seeds, oregano, thyme, I think marjoram. Well, I have to charge my microphones. I don't know why it's not working. It says it's still got some charge, but so the sound quality might not be the best. But
So if you drink Unicity, apparently it makes you crave poop, french fries, and bread.
there we go. These are awesome microphones.
Yeah,
We
bro.
got these in Thailand.
Hey, JB.
I would highly recommend Boya. Not sponsored. So here you go. This is my breakfast. Some bread, pita bread, some air fried potatoes, french fries, some food, some cheese. In Arabic, it's called jubin, and some zaytun olives. Bismillah.
Or you could just have some cottage cheese and fruit and some tea. There you go. You're not at all embarrassed you don't fit at the dining room set that your fake husband bought for Kay Bella, so you have to roll a chair into the kitchen?
So now I'm just going to do some post-brunch dishes. I have been trying to keep up with them as I go. Now, this little side area of the sink always gets dirty with like sand dust because I keep the window cracked a bit. So I always have to wash the little bits of sand off. Fun fact about living in
Sand, dust, and cat hair in your food. Step right up, folks.
the Middle East, in Kuwait, in a desert country.
No, he doesn't get to eat. It's kind of telling she doesn't make anything for him, though. You know, he just had surgery.
All right,
Like,
dishes are all
sounds
done,
so
and now
good.
I'm just going to scrub my hands with some foaming cranberry hand soap, which is also for my husband's business. And last but not least, I just have to put my
Her
ring
husband's business that his name is on it. He doesn't do anything for it.
back on. Now I'm going to wash the floor. I take this like floor squeegee thing and I get any little bits and I just kind of direct them into the drain on the floor. And I don't like using the broom because I don't want it to get like, in case there's like a little bit of grease on the floor or something like that. So I just use the squeegee and put all the little bits of food into the drain. Now I did just wash my floor yesterday. I've been trying to keep up with that every day as well after a day of cooking in the kitchen. Now this
How are you doing this with your what did Dank Fupa call it? Sciatica?
is some floor deodorizer for my husband's business. It just makes your floor smell really nice when you wash
Friendly reminder, he doesn't do shit for the business. Allegedly, his dad just paid for his name to be on there so he could say he did something in life.
them. So yeah, now time to mop.
Puppy.
After I'm done mopping, I just use the squeegee on the clean.
Ray, I'm not saying like people can't treat themselves for breakfast. Like I fully get like every once in a while somebody wants like French fries. Like I totally get that. But I feel like she probably has that to the start of like every single day, which is why she looks how she looks.
Floor to direct any excess water into the drain as well. Then I deodorize the kitchen from any cooking smells, and this is also from my husband's business, T-Bell Bar. All right, I'm fed, everyone else is fed, husband, pets, and laundry's going. The only thing I have left to do is just get rid of those little bits from the floor drain, which I will do. My back.
Would you guys spray that random Beezer stuff or his perfume spray in your kitchen where you cook and you just cleaned? Like I definitely wouldn't.
It's a bit sore, so, but everything else is good. So now it's time for a little bit of me time and go and read some of the Quran.
Okay.
So right now I'm on page 55.
You never crack open that thing. You know when you have a book and you can tell you've read it because the way like it just looks like it's kind of almost bent open if you regularly read a book. The pages are even messed up a little bit. That thing has never been cracked open. Ever.
And part 3, the Surah Al-Baqarah. And I'll just read you a little passage. Oh, you who believe, spend of the good things which you have legally earned, and of that which we have produced from the earth for you, and do not aim at that which is bad to spend from it, though you would not accept it, except if you close your eyes and tolerate therein, and know that Allah is rich, free of all needs, and worthy of all praise. So be grateful for whatever you have today. Don't think about the past, don't think about the future. Whatever you have today that Allah has blessed you with, think about it, and really appreciate it.
Well, he definitely didn't bless you with good skin, and I think you need to read more of that, but thank you.
That's what I get from that passage. With Ramadan coming, I'm trying to get through the Quran, and
Oh my God.
going to be doing a lot more studying of it during Ramadan, of course, as well, along with prayer and fasting. And I'll be doing some Ramadan vlogs for you as well. So
He's going to be praying and fasting, you guys. You heard it here first.
guys, I guess that's it. I like to sit here in this window, look out at the sea. So guys, I just thought I would share a bit of my, every time I go to talk.
Her eyes look like she's been crying.
So guys, I just thought I would share this morning with you. Not every morning is the same for me. Sometimes it's a bit different. But if you guys like these vlogs, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. I always love to hear from you guys. And inshallah, you will all have a blessed day. See you guys.
What's really going on? You look like you are crying. Hold on, look at her eyes. Zoom in if you guys can. You know when you're holding back tears, how you could see it? Like the water is just like filling up in your eyes. She looks like she's been crying. Did Salah not come home from his vacation? I don't think he really had surgery, Foodie. I think he was cheating on you again.
So guys, I just thought I would share this morning with you. Not every morning is the same for me. Sometimes it's a bit different. But if you guys like these vlogs, please give it a thumbs up. And
I don't like them. I don't know. But you made me feel better about myself because I've accomplished way more than you have in the multiple hours I've been up. She's probably out of food. I don't know. She looks like she's holding back tears. I know, even when my laptop is trying to shut her up. Do you guys notice when we cover the other stuff, like it's not tripping like it is? So laundry, food for herself, mop floor, sit down for the rest of the day. Exactly, Venus. That was her big morning. What did Salah eat? Shit, probably. What a sad life. Very sad. Okay, so you guys, we're gonna get into. Okay, we're finishing parts. I believe it's 23 through 30 of the TikTok series. Who the F Did I Marry? So there's still much more after that. Like we have a long way to go, but I figured today we can finish parts 23 through 30, and then tomorrow we'll start the rest of it. So to get you caught up, hold on, I have a little summary, or I did anyways, pulled up. So it's this woman. She's beautiful, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful heart, beautiful soul, beautiful just in general. And she was doing pretty well in life. I mean, she had like what, a 3-bedroom house. She had a good job. She was independent. She was stable, I would say. And she meets this guy during COVID who basically knows what he's doing, by the way. Like rescues her out of situations. Right on the first date, like she knew all about his family, all about his life in California, all about his arena football, like all this stuff. And then from there, it progressively got like more intense. and he's promising to buy houses with her, and they all fall through. He's having her test drive cars. She didn't get anything that he was like so adamant on her getting, like the BMW. It's been crazy. It's been wild. I can't do this story justice because you truly just have to watch to understand how insane it is. But for the most part, like, it's so relatable. I think all of us have dated an asshole, some sort of scammer, romance scammer. My hand's raised right now. I dated one of those. And you can kind of identify with things that she's saying, and relate, definitely relate. So we just finished the part where they started couples therapy. And the pastor's wife told her that she didn't even think they were going to make it till what, they like 3 months. She didn't think they were going to make it 3 more months. On a side note too, they got pregnant and she miscarried. And this guy was everywhere but with her. And I truly think, like, when I'm watching this story and I'm listening, there's so many red flags. There's so many red flags. But I think when somebody suffers like such a great loss like that, I think you're very vulnerable. I think you're easy to be manipulated, right? You just suffered something that like many people can't even comprehend how that feels. So I kind of feel like she just wanted something familiar and comfortable, and that was him in this moment. So she's letting things slide, because she truly just wanted to be married to this guy. But we're also at the part where she's starting to kind of wake up more and figure things out and ask questions and catch him in lies. So it's gotten really, really good. Good, I'm over Foodie as well. It doesn't take long to get into someone else. Yeah, she's just boring, and there's only so many times you can watch her mukbang. Like, truly, we've seen her eat all the foods. Like, it's not going to get much better. So sometimes it's nice to have a little break. I don't really know if I'm going to be covering like a whole lot of foodie stuff today, unless like something wild happens. We might actually come back later and get into this some more, like maybe later tonight. But if we don't, we'll be back tomorrow. And we give Foodie what she wants, and her channels tank faster. True. I saw Jordy's video on her and was like, what? Okay. Alex Shook has been covering, is it Glitter and Lasers? And so has Jordy, but I saw Jordy covering Jordy, which is something FFG does, so that was weird. Well, I have no idea. I never got into the Doherty dozen. My sister tried telling me about it, and I don't know. It sounds really depressing. It sounds really depressing. Glitter and Lasers, I've never really watched her. I think I saw like her come up in some shorts. She's really pretty and she dresses really nice. And then I saw like a Target video that I don't really know what to think of other people, but I think it's good that everybody has other options. I think it is, like, truthfully, truthfully, if you think 3 years from now you're still going to be covering foodie stuff, like, I don't know, you're a little naive, because the way she looks right now, do you think she's going to be here 3 more years? So, like, I just wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket anymore. Like, people need to find other things to talk about too. We need to listen to our audience. A lot of people, while they still want to watch foodie, a lot of people need breaks and are over her and are bored. So it's nice to look at other things. I find this very refreshing in a lot of ways. I was saying last night, it kind of feels like therapy, right? I think when we go through things, it could feel very isolating and alone, and you almost feel like crazy, like you do. You're like, why the hell did I fall for this stuff? Or why didn't I see all the red flags? So like sitting and hearing her story, it makes you feel not so alone in the world. And I'm happy she's sharing it, because if anything, it's teaching, people who are on these dating apps, like, research, investigate, ask questions. If something isn't sitting right with you, if something is disturbing your peace, there's a good reason for that. Listen to your gut. Listen to it. It's trying to tell you. And two, like, it's crazy. Throughout her relationship, we've seen all these things happen where it's like somebody's trying to tell her, like, run, get away from this guy. But she's not listening, because she wants marriage. She wants the kids. She wants the house. She wants the BMW with the, what did she call them? Cognac seats. At Foodie size, yes, she will be here decades as nature's trying to decompose all that fat. Matthew, trust no one when dating. People lie. That's the thing. People lie. They say, they're an astronaut. They're NASCAR drivers. They're an MMA. They were a baseball player. Their dad is Rex Hudler. I mean, people lie. People lie. So ask questions. Do your research. This guy had a whole story. He played arena football in San Diego. He had a whole thing. He played arena football in San Diego, and she didn't look into it. So ask questions, do your research, trust your gut. That's what I've learned from watching her. So this is Who the F Did I Marry parts 1 through 30. I believe we're starting. Okay, we're starting part 24. And I found all of this. We originally started over on TikTok, but it got confusing. So I found it on the Jess Kaysen brand channel. Let's make this a little bit bigger. And hopefully this is going to work. Off we go. Maybe. Hello?
So remember, we're in
There we
April. We're now moving towards the end of April, and he still did not show me his savings account. Saw the checking, saw the Chase savings. So he decides that we should start looking for a house again, because my lease was up in August, and I made it very clear that when the lease is up, I am moving. I wanted to move to Cobb County. So he was like, we need to get the ball rolling. I didn't want any parts of it. Didn't want any parts of it. He found a realtor. This time it was a woman. It was a woman. And I believe her name was Amber. I think her name was Amber. So he found a realtor, and he told her what the budget was. Amber started finding houses. So please understand, or you don't really have to understand, but I believed he was a sane, rational human being. Sane enough that you would not sign an offer on a home if you didn't have the money. That's what I believed.
So this is their third house, right? I think we're on house number 3. They've seen a lot. He's definitely seen a lot. But for some reason, there's always something that comes up. Something falls through, and he's always dealing with his friend now. He's not letting her in on a lot of it.
So when we started working with Amber, I believe, showed us 3 or 4 houses. It was not nearly as many as the other realtors got. So one of the houses, absolutely loved. Ugh, I love the house. I really wanted to put in an offer on that house, and I'm going to post it on the screen, the house. Love that house. It was just absolutely beautiful. And once again, he wanted to put in an all cash offer on the house. But before he could put in he had told Amber, I want to put in an all cash offer. And what Amber, the woman, was smart enough to say is, okay, let's just go ahead and take it one step at a time. Let's go ahead and get your pre-approval stuff together. She said, I work with a great lender who, if you're not already pre-approved, he can get you pre-approved, no issues. And then if you want to do an all cash offer, then we'll go ahead and get the proof of funds together. So that way we can submit it all with your offer. Jesus. Y'all already know what happened, because you remember what happened on the last house with Scott.
Yeah.
Basically, Legion was like, well, I can get you whatever you need. That's fine. But I really don't want to submit proof of funds unless they accept the offer. Amber
He does that a lot. He shows her proof of funds. So she's believing him, but he's always like, I'm not going to show proof unless it's accept. He's so weird about it.
And I don't know where she is. I don't even know if she'll ever see this video. Anyway, let me keep going, and I'll explain why that woman has a special place in my heart. So Amber was like, I totally understand. But this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to need that paperwork. Okay. And we'll submit it with your offer. She just simply was like, yeah, this is how we're going to do it. And so he did not submit the paperwork when she had asked him to. And I remember I was driving to work, and I stopped at the Quick Trip on Upper Riverdale Road in Riverdale, Georgia. And Amber had called me. It was in the morning. She had called me. And I believe with all my heart that Amber knew something was up, but she also knew I did not know what was up. So she called me, and she was like, I just don't understand. If he has the paperwork, you can submit the paperwork. But the issue was the Chase paperwork that I had was from a year prior. So my understanding was that it pretty much was no good at this point. So she said, all he has to do is just email it to me or take a picture of. She's like, I just need to know that he's able to back up his offer. And I said, I totally get it. And she was explaining some stuff.
He doesn't want to show his photoshopped proof of funds
to me. She was like, he needs to do X, Y, and Z. And so I said to her, I remember I said, I don't know what's going on. I said, I'm going to get down to the bottom of it, but I don't know what's going on. And so let's put a pause on this whole thing. Let's put a pause on looking at houses. Let's put a pause on getting his pre-approval letter, because I'm not sure what's going on. And she got quiet and she said, okay. I said, and I know this sounds weird. And she said, no, she said, that is actually very smart. She said, do your research. And if I can be of assistance, call me. She said, whether you buy a house with him or you buy a house on your own, I will be more than happy to represent you. I don't know where Amber is today, but that one sentence, I felt like just woman to woman.
Yeah.
She was basically telling me something ain't right.
There's been a
Baby,
lot
something
of
ain't right.
Yeah.
And now you need to open your eyes. I'll be more than happy to work with you. If y'all get your shit together, I'll work with both of you. But whether you buy a house or not, do your research
There you go.
and then let me know what I can do. That was our conversation at the Quick Trip on Upper Riverdale Road. So I got off the phone. That was the last time that we worked with any sort of realtor. That was the last time that we looked at any sort of house. And I don't remember exactly what happened after that meeting.
So I don't know where he is now, but I will say this for anybody new tuning in. She has made it very clear. I'm not saying you guys would ever do this. I'm saying for anybody listening out there who isn't regularly in here, like she doesn't want anybody finding this guy. She doesn't want anybody harassing this guy. She just wants for him to leave her alone. So this is how awesome of a person she is. She's telling her story, but she's not identifying him. She's not. She's protecting him very much. Like Legion isn't his real name. It's not his real name. But she said that he's so unwell that she doesn't want anybody stirring up more trouble for her in that way. You know, she'll tell her story, but she doesn't want anybody finding this guy.
That day, I do know that when I went home, I simply told him, I don't want to look at a house right now. I said, I think it's okay if we rent. We'll just find a house in Cobb County and just rent for a year. And let's build, save some more money. Let's just, let's not worry about buying a house right now. And basically what I was trying to do was save face, because that was the first time with Amber that I actually was embarrassed at the fact that he and I, because I felt like I was complicit in the fact that I'm going to look at houses with him. I felt like we are wasting these people's time. I did not mean to waste your time. I clearly see my time as being wasted, but that doesn't mean I need to waste your time. And I felt embarrassed at the fact that we wasted her time coming across as serious buyers. When time came to put up or shut up, nothing was put up. And I knew nothing. I had nothing to add to add to this, because we're talking about a $650,000 house. And, I don't make that. I don't make anywhere near that. So it just became one of those situations where I was trying to save face. I was trying to save face with my husband, and I was trying to save face with Amber. And so I did say to him, let's just rent for another year. And then let's see at that time where we are, if we should go ahead and buy.
Mm-hmm.
So now is when shit is about to get real.
Oh, no.
Part 25, who the fuck did I marry? So we weren't looking at houses anymore.
Amy Jo, email me. I put it in the chat. I'd be happy to help.
We were not working with a realtor anymore. The end of April, I had decided that I wanted to look for another job. I did. The reason I wanted to look for another job is petty. Yeah, it is. I wanted to look for another job because I was pissed off at the fact that I had basically was dependent on him to help with the car note. So I wanted to look for another job where I could afford life all by myself, including that car note, basically where I would make more money.
Good for you.
I told him that I was going to start looking for another job. He laughed. And his exact words were, "You're not going to leave Georgia State Patrol." He was like, "I swear you love them niggas more than you love me." He laughed.
I hate this guy. Legion, I hope you stub every single toe today, wherever you are.
So that fueled me even more. So I was hitting the pavement hard, trying to find another job. I was applying to all kinds of places. Got a phone call from my current job. So this is how I ended up in my current job. Got a phone call. They had sent me an email with a background packet. The background packet was long and extensive, but in the background packet, it asked for my spouse's full name, my spouse's date of birth, and my spouse's social security number. So I showed it to Legion, and I was like, I need your social because, I'm applying for this job. It's a great job. It's way more money. And, we're talking about moving anyway to Cobb County. So this, this is a God thing. He did not want to give me his social.
Oh, no. We know why. Okay, so he has some money, though, because he is paying bills. So what his job really is, we still don't know, but I'm willing to bet he's not really a vice president of a condiment company like he's telling her. Oh, my God. I know. I was scared. Okay, I have a feeling.
I showed him the paperwork where I was like, look, because we are married, I can't lie on here. So help me. So he writes down his social security number on the background packet. And I eventually turned it in. I scanned it, saved it in my email, and sent it in. And I looked at it one day, just going through it, just making sure I didn't really miss anything. All T's were crossed, all I's were dotted. And I looked at his social, and something about the social seemed different than the social security number that I remember seeing when we did our marriage license.
Oh my God.
And so for those who you remember in the previous part, I said I had ran his social security number from the marriage license. Nothing came back. So I thought that I had written it down wrong. Basically, what it is that the first three numbers were different on the background packet than what was on the marriage license. If you don't know this, here's a little trivia. Your social security number, the first three numbers pretty much are dictated by the state you were born in and the state that issued your birth certificate. So he was born in Pennsylvania. So the first three numbers of his social security number should be attributed to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, shit, they probably got like 5, 6 different numbers, 3-digit numbers that your social security number can start with. So the social that was on the marriage license, for example, was probably 1, 2, 3. What was on the background was 4, 5, 6. Both of those social security 3-digit prefixes are issued through the state of Pennsylvania. Again, this is just an example so I can make it clear. So when I saw his social on my background, I immediately knew that was a different social than what I saw on the marriage license. And when I compared, because I had found a copy of the marriage license that we turned in because I had filled it out on the computer. So sure enough, the first 3 numbers were different. The rest of the numbers were the same. So one of two things, either when I ran his background, I did in fact put in the wrong number, or the number on the marriage certificate or the background packet is wrong. So I decided that I was going to roll the dice and take the social from the background packet. Again, this is the background packet that I had to fill out to get my current job. I was trying to get a new job. Okay, so I took that social and I ran a background check on it. What came back on this particular background was all the addresses that the social security number, I guess, had been attached to. So all of the addresses, the states were Georgia, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania. What I did not see was California. So I thought that was weird. I thought, okay, maybe this is not a complete background because clearly he went to San Diego State. It's on his resume. It's on quite a few things. Social media. He didn't have a LinkedIn, but it was on his social media. So clearly he had been to California. So maybe I just need to do a different background check. Also to note, during this time, I think I told you guys he had hit his leg at work. So what was happening was it was getting more and more difficult for him to walk, like put pressure on that leg, on that knee. He was still able to go to work. He was still leaving at 6:15 in the morning. He was still coming back between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. But I clearly could see where he was in pain. He would elevate the knee, ice the knee.
So the vice president or CEO got injured from work. What does he really do?
It was getting worse. And I was constantly like, go to the doctor. Let me take you to urgent care so that they can look at this knee, because you shouldn't still be limping and having a hard time putting weight on that knee. And every single time he was like, oh, it's fine. I have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday. The doctor just told me to ice it and to elevate it. This is an old football injury. It happens all the time. It used to happen a lot when I was out in California. So I'm mentioning this knee issue for a reason. But back to the background. So once again, when I ran the background the second time with the second social, it showed me states of Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. And that's all that I saw in terms of addresses. I didn't see anything for California. So by this point, we're moving into May of 2021. This
guy talks so much about California, like he was the king of California, and nothing's coming up for it.
They're starting to reopen. One of the things that reopened was San Diego State.
Okay.
So I called San Diego State. I called the registrar's office. Someone did answer, and there was instructions on how to request a transcript. I was able to try to request it online. You needed the student's name, and I believe you also need their social. And when I typed it in, it said no results found. I believe that I sent an email asking, this person is saying that they were a student there. Can you verify it? The response I got was there were no records found with that social security number. So I'm like, okay.
Wow.
I asked him about it. And in part 26, I'll tell you exactly what his response was.
Oh my gosh.
Part 20.
Thank God we don't have to wait for this because I would absolutely die if we had to wait a week to find out. Like, oh my gosh. I'm
T6.
scared.
Who
I'm
fucked it?
scared. I'm scared. Like, it just gets worse.
I'm married. So I asked Legion, what's the deal about San Diego State? He was like, what are you talking about? And I said, why is there no records of you there? Just came right out and said it. Without missing a beat, this man said, well, I was a private citizen. What the fuck does that
He's still looking for more women on another platform. Wow.
mean? And what he said is that when he started at San Diego State, his father paid money so that, okay, it's important to say this with a straight face. His father paid money so that his name and social would not be publicized and he would be considered a private citizen. He said that he had a card where all he had to do was show the card. He does not have to give his name. He does not have to give any information because he had that card.
Oh my gosh.
He said so San Diego State would not have any record of him, but he was in fact a student there. I said, and you claim that you played football. He was like, I did play football. I said, so you're saying that the school did not publish your name anywhere and they were in violation of NCAA rules? And he was like, why are you asking all these questions? And I said, I'm just curious.
He doesn't like that you're starting to ask questions.
I'm just curious. You're saying that you were a private citizen, but yet how were you in compliance with NCAA if you were a private citizen and they did not publish your name on any roster? So that was his excuse. He was like, all I can tell you is that I was a private citizen. My dad paid for it. Okay. So now I know that his social security number, at least the one that's on my background packet, only shows that he lived in Georgia, Rhode Island, and Pennsylvania. Okay.
This mother effer. All this shit about California and he probably's never even been to it.
So at this point, the pain in his knee is getting worse. It's getting to the point where when he would come home from work, he would take a shower and immediately get in bed, elevate his knee. He was not even eating the way that he used to eat. It was getting to the point where at times, if you remember when I told you all about the miscarriage, they gave me pain meds because I had taken that pill, but the pain meds I was allergic to, so I couldn't take them, but I still had them. So the pain in his knee was getting to the point where he would take one of those pain meds just to get through the night. He was constantly in agony, constantly kind of tossing and turning, so much so that in May he moved into the guest bedroom because I couldn't deal with the tossing and turning thing. And he just said he was more comfortable there. So what at first was I hit my knee at work turned into, no, it was an old football injury. This has happened before. Turned into, it's painful for me to walk on it. Turned into, it's actually hard for me to work on it. But he was still going to work at 6:15 every morning and coming home between 3:30 and 4. So it is, again, I'm just giving you guys the chronological order of how all this happened. So at this point, we're not looking for a house. I still have not seen the 2 savings account. I'm pretty sure there's no money in those savings accounts. But again, he was going to put in an all cash offer with Amber, the realtor. So
and how many months, you guys remind me because I know a lot of you guys have been following along. How many months in are we into this again? Like how many months? And the questions, like the light is finally coming on in her head. I'm not shaming her at all. I find this all very interesting to watch and I'm happy she's asking questions and catching him, but I forget, are we 10 months in?
I really didn't know what to believe, but I believed what I saw, which is I saw that background is not showing where he went to California. So at one point in May, it was close to mid-May, he calls me from work. He calls me from work, calls me while I'm at work, and tells me that he got a phone call from his stepson.
Okay.
The phone call from his stepson, the stepson was crying and was just absolutely distraught. And I'm at work in my office like, what's going on?
Right.
And he says to me that the stepson informed him that his stepdaughter passed away.
What?
That she died from COVID. The stepson this is the story. The stepson found her in her apartment because they had not heard from her for a couple of days. And she was unresponsive. He called the ambulance. They pronounced her dead when she got to the hospital.
Isn't this the 3rd family member he's lied about having COVID and dying? Okay, we're 14 months in. 14. They married January 2020. Thank you so much. He didn't pay up. Yeah. Wow.
So he was calling to tell me that she had died. And he was also calling to ask me if I would object to him giving his ex-wife $2,000 towards the funeral. As I've stated before, and I still am this way to this day. I don't play about death. So when he told me that she died, I immediately went into all right, I'm sorry to hear that. Whatever we can do to help, let's help. Because surely nobody would make that up.
He did 3 times.
So he was like, are you okay with that? He was like, we're married. And the agreement was that anything over $500 would be.
Right. He's so well off. So why does he need to, for one thing, well, I guess it's your wife, so you still ask, but like, why wouldn't he just give his own money? Doesn't he have all this money where he could pay everything in cash? Right, Freedom Deep, but he's loaded. Ray said because they were trying to figure out where they would quarantine her place or his place. Yes.
Be a discussion. So 2000 definitely. And I said, yeah, I said, that's totally fine. I'm fine with that. He was upset because again, he was close with the kids and my heart went out to his ex-wife. It did, because I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine. So part 27, who the fuck did I marry? So here's where we are at, and here's what we can establish. Number one, I ran an initial background check on the social security number that was on our marriage license. Nothing came back. I subsequently applied for another job. In that job, I had to fill out a background packet. The background packet asked for my spouse's name, date of birth, and his social security number. Yeah. The social security number on the background packet for the new job did not match the social security number that he gave me for our marriage license. If you are confused, I believe it's in part 25 or part 26 that I explain that. So we can establish that I then ran a background check on the new social security number that was on my background packet. It came back with states that the social security number apparently had lived in. Those states were Georgia, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island. Okay. I decided, this is now around May 20th, I decided to do another background check.
Yeah.
And I paid to do another background check. This time I did it with a different company. And not only did it give me the addresses, not only did it give me the states, it gave me addresses, and it also gave me names of people who were like associated with Legion and that address. One of those names was his ex-wife. I've always known, he's always told me the name of the ex-wife, but now I see it when I ran his background. I did a search for her on social media. She was not there. So the address that it showed that she was associated with him, because remember his story is we got married in San Diego, we lived in San Diego, we divorced in San Diego.
So that's San Diego.
Men lie, women lie. Yeah. The U.S. federal government with your social security number does not. So he's saying he was always in California. His social security number never showed that he was in California, according to the background check.
Oh my God.
It did show that he had lived in Georgia at an address associated with the ex-wife. So tried to find the ex-wife, could not find her on social media. So I looked in the metro counties to protect her identity. This, I am going to not divulge a lot on this part. Okay. I looked in the metro counties in the open record courts. So typically, you can look in like Superior Court or Magistrate Court or Probate Court. So I looked in open records for the different counties, metro Atlanta counties. Let me be clear, metro Atlanta counties. And I looked under her name and I found where they had filed for divorce in a metro Atlanta county. So when he said that he filed for divorce in San Diego and that he was married in San Diego, I was able to find, no, according to the state of Georgia, you were married here. Yeah. You were divorced here. So I looked under her name, found a record for divorce, and it did show his name. So now I clearly see on my computer that there is a metro Atlanta County Court that has a divorce record in the state of Georgia between him and his ex-wife. So I did what any rational person would do, because this is still kind of COVID time. Well, not really. It had nothing to do with COVID. Let me take that back. Because of the parameters of the court, you can only do the open records request in person. I did what anybody would do. I told my boss I had to go. Yeah. I grabbed my purse, grabbed my keys, and I drove to the court to do the open records request in person. The open records request was for the divorce documents. Go back in the story, in the series, and remember I did a background on the ex-wife. I told you all exactly what was told to me. He met her in California. He married her in California. He divorced her in California because she cheated on him. He filed for divorce. She tried to get spousal support. It was going to be a little ugly. He was helping her with the kids. That was the story that was told to me. So went to the court, filled out the paperwork, got the open records request for the divorce decree, for the divorce records. First thing I see, he didn't file, she did. Second thing I see, they didn't make it more than 6 months. I see the date of marriage. I see the date of dissolution, 6 months.
What are the odds he did the same shit to her? That's why they only lasted 6 months. And how many more of there are out there? Because he clearly rushes with marriage and scamming.
third thing I see, he was served in Metro Atlanta, which means that at the time of the divorce, he was living in Metro Atlanta. California was never mentioned. Fourth thing I see, he filed what is called a pauper affidavit. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to do my best to explain it real quick. Basically, he filed an affidavit with the court saying that he is so poor, he could not afford the fees to pay for a divorce.
What?
He couldn't afford a filing fee. He couldn't afford a service fee. That is what a pauper affidavit
But he's rich. He played arena football. Oh my God.
is for. All of this is in the divorce documents.
Oh my God.
She had filed. She said it was irreconcilable differences. She was not requesting any money whatsoever. And both of them had signed a pauper affidavit. He was served in Georgia at his previous employment. According to the divorce documents, he was served at like a grocery store. That is what was listed as his employer. And it had a date of when he was served. So I see all of this in one day.
Damn.
I also see where on the divorce documents, she listed her name, her address, and her phone number.
Did you call?
So I did what any rational person would do. I wrote down the phone number.
Like you called.
There was a 50-50 chance that the number was already disconnected.
Yeah.
She could be like me. I'm one of those people. Honey, you can sneeze at the 27-degree angle. I will change my number so quick. You ain't even know what hit you.
Yeah.
You can talk to
Mika, hello. Welcome to the rabbit hole. This is so good.
me at 5 o'clock, and at 5:05, my number has been changed. So she could have been like me, and the number is not even active. Or she could be like some people I know who have kept their number since kindergarten. Either way, I wrote the number down. I left the court, and I immediately went back to work. And the same friend who helped me when I had my miscarriage, I told her, I was like, I got this phone number. This is the ex-wife. She was like, girl, you better call.
Yeah.
You better call and find out from her. Because I think she said to me, can't nobody tell you what is going on quite like the ex-wife. So part 28 is the phone call that I had with the ex-wife.
Oh my God. We're watching.
Part 28 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So I got the phone number, went back to work. My really good friend was like, you better call her. You can use my phone, but call her. So I called her. She answered. Let me use aliases. And the conversation went like this. May I please speak with Barbara? This is Barbara. Barbara, this is Shirley. Shirley who? This is Shirley Jones. I am the wife of Legion. Silence. Then she starts laughing.
Oh my God.
And she said to me, and I quote, if you were calling me, then I know it's bad. I chuckle. And I said to her, I'm not trying to bother you. I'm not trying to disrupt your life. I said, I'm literally coming to you on some woman-to-woman shit. I said, because you are probably the only person who can help. She listened. She was gracious. And she said, what is it that you need to know? Or what is it that you want to know? And I said, I understand that you and my husband talk and communicate. And she immediately said, what? No, we don't.
Oh!
And I said, okay. She said, one thing you need to know about Legion. She said, whatever he tells you, it is a lie.
Yeah.
And she said, again, let's go back to part 1. I told you guys that when he introduced himself or when we met, we actually had matched on 2 different sites. And he was under 2 different names. One was like the actual birth name. The other one was a nickname variation of that name. That's the name I know him by. So for example, if his name was Matthew, he had a profile under Matthew, and then he had a profile under Matt. I would have known him as Matt.
Yeah.
So she said to me, she was like, I don't even know who Matt is. She was like, that's not even his name. And so I knew what his actual government name is. She was like, no one calls him Matt. She was like, that must be his new personality. Or she was cracking a joke, but she was like, anything he tells you, you need to know is a lie. So I just asked her, I said, what was your experience? I said, because I can tell you the story he told me. And she stopped me right there. She said, whatever he told you was a lie. She said, let me guess. He told you I cheated on him. Let me guess. He told you that I wanted money from him. And I said, yeah. And she said, yeah, that's a complete lie. So we had a conversation where she told me how they met. They didn't meet online or anything. I said, well, were you guys ever?
So if it cut off, it's because she was doing the TikTok videos. And I think they cut off after a certain amount of time. And then she just continues.
In California. She said, no. She's like, that man ain't never been from past the East Coast. So I said, okay. So you guys have always been in Georgia. And she said, yeah. She's like, we got married in Georgia and we got divorced in Georgia. And that's when she asked me, how did you even get my number? She said, because I want nothing to do with him. So how did you get my number? And I said, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It ain't gonna make me look good. I told her, I said, this is what happened. And this is what led to me doing research. And this is how I got your number. And she laughed. She was like, wow. She was like, normally I would be freaked out. She said, but under the circumstances, she was like, wow, okay. She said, yeah, if you're calling me, then it must have gotten pretty bad. She said, so what did he promise you?
Everything.
And we talked for about 30, 35 minutes. She asked me in that phone call, she said, look, I want nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
I have not spoken to him since our divorce was finalized. She said, so I would just appreciate if you keep me out of whatever's going on with y'all. And I told her, I said, I give you my word. I will never tell him I spoke to you. I said, I give you my word. I said, this conversation is for me. It is not for me to use in any sort of legal litigation, nothing. This is for me. And I said, I don't plan to call you again. I don't plan to be a disruption in your life. I just needed to know, how bad is it? And she paused and she said, it's bad.
Damn.
She said, I don't know what all y'all got going on. She said, but if it's anything like what it was for me, it's bad. So we talked a little bit more. She was very encouraging. She was like, girl, do not blame yourself. She said, I went through that and I had blamed myself. She was like, this is not on us. This is on him. She was like, he is a master liar, a master manipulator. She said, I ignored the red flags. So she was like, do not feel as though this is on you. We talked about there's an ex-girlfriend that shares the same name as his aunt. She and I talked about her. She said the reason why they broke up, because the ex-girlfriend, I didn't know this, the ex-girlfriend had reached out to her about 6 months before he met me. And so the ex-girlfriend lived in Douglasville. On Legion's driver's license, he had a Georgia driver's license with a Douglasville address. What he told me was that it was the address that his sister, because remember I told y'all his sister Shantae lives in Douglasville. She's a nurse, married with 2 kids. So he told me that the address on his license, it was his driver's license, was to Shantae's house.
But that was his ex-girlfriend.
The ex-wife is telling me, no, that's the address for the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend. Yeah. He had moved in with her and he created this whole narrative with her. She found out that he was lying and she kicked him out. And so I guess after she kicked him out, this
is what he does. This is what he does. How the hell does one person come up with all of this? So it's crazy to me.
Reached out to the ex-wife, kind of the way I did for confirmation. And so the ex-wife was just telling me, whatever that man has told you, it is a lie. She said, I got out before it got too bad. She said, because once I knew he was lying, I was out. She was like, because he's never going to change. Yeah. And so again, conversation went on. And so finally we were getting ready to get off the phone. And before we got off the phone, I said to her, I said, if everything is a lie, I said, I have one question for you. And she said, sure. I said, how is your daughter?
I'm scared.
I said, how is your daughter? Next part coming up. Part 29, who the fuck did I marry? So I asked her, how is your daughter? She said, my daughter's fine. And I said, okay. She said, what did he say about my daughter? And I will be honest with y'all, I didn't have the heart to tell her. So
my jaw is on the floor. What kind of sick mother effer lies about a child's death? And don't forget, you guys, this is the 3rd death in his family because of COVID. But this time he killed off a daughter.
So what I said instead was, oh, no, it was, with everything with COVID, I think you mentioned that she might have had COVID or was exposed to it. I downplayed it bad. I wasn't going to tell that woman.
Yeah, no, you did. Oh
he said her daughter passed away. So
she's smart because as a parent, like we'd come for the person like who even lies about that? And you're not going to lie about that happening to my child, you douchebag. Oh my God. Oh my God.
She did. I said, obviously I'm glad to hear that kids are fine. She said, look, whether you stay with him or not, it's your choice. She said, he ain't going to change. He ain't going to change at all. She said, this is what he does. She said, you're not the first. You're not going to be the last. She said, he did it to me. She was very, very encouraging because she was just like, you do not blame yourself. She said, we both ignored red flags, but it is not your fault. She said, this is on him. And so we, once again, I thanked her for her time, got off the phone. I took the long way home that night. I could not be around him. I could not be around him. I had to figure something out. I had to figure some things out. So I took a long way home. What does that mean? It means that I probably could have taken 75 to 285, but I probably took 20 to 75 to 285 to 675, kind of like I just took the long way home. A couple of days later, because my mind was spinning. A couple of days later, at this point, I'm turning into the FBI, CIA, and Homeland Security all in one. Literally. Isn't
that weird when that happens, when you get like a romance scammer or you're being cheated on, like you suddenly become the best detective in the world?
I'm trying to find everything. And he's carrying on his business as usual. Nothing changed with him. He had no idea that I had spoken to the ex-wife. He had no idea I had gone to the court and saw his divorce documents. He had no idea. So a couple of days later, I decided to look up his mother's obituary. Look up the mother's obituary. And down at the bottom where it talks about, she's preceded in death by, and it lists all the people, the family members that died before. And then it says, leaving behind to cherish her memory. It lists the husband, her husband, excuse me. Let me start over. It lists her husband, which is Legion's dad. It lists Legion's brother that lives in Philly and his wife. Because again, this is she passed away in 2015. So it lists Legion, the brother in Philly, and his wife and daughter, her granddaughter. It lists Legion and his wife. I think it was like Latoya or something. It did not list the ex-wife I just spoke to. And it clearly said Legion, his wife, Latoya. Then it listed the brother in Nashville. Is
there another wife out there?
Wife, Jane or whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, there's two things I was thinking immediately. Number one, who is Latoya? Never heard that name before. Oh
my God.
So I was thinking, who is Latoya? And then number two, where are the two sisters? Shantae and Kim. Shantae lives in Douglasville, married with 2 kids. Kim lives in Augusta, and I believe he told me she worked at like Procter and Gamble. So why aren't they listed on here? Because apparently, go back to the video. I posted it on there. I gave y'all background on the family. He apparently was one of 5 through both parents. Brother in Philly, older brother, younger brother in Nashville, an older sister in Douglasville, and a baby sister in Augusta. So why is it on his mother's obituary? There's only three children named. Where are the 2 sisters? So I'm even more like, what in the hell is going on? And then I started thinking to myself, why wouldn't they list Shantae? Like, they talk all the time, so I know that they're close because he talks to Shantae all the time. So I really was confused. Again, keep in mind, I'm trying to give y'all insight into how I was thinking May of 2021, because I still didn't find out a lot of stuff at that time. Okay. I found out enough to figure out, okay, it's not a question of if he's lying. That was over. It's not a question of if he's lying. The question now is becoming, what else is he lying about? So we had the phone call with the ex-wife. Now I see an obituary that apparently there's another wife. I know on our marriage certificate, it only states he had one previous marriage. I had 0, he had 1. So this is how I'm thinking in my head, which is, okay, what am I missing here?
Does he go by multiple?
I know we've established that he's lying.
Is it multiple identities he's going by and the sisters are really wives?
But who the fuck is Latoya? Like, I'm really trying to understand who is Latoya. And again, he's hobbling around the house, limping, and I'm in our bedroom, in the bedroom. I could not get on Google fast enough to try to figure some stuff out. So, see the mom's obituary, study it, and at this point, I'm now trying to figure out, okay, what's the game plan? What is the game plan?
True, Freya.
And that's where we are about to get into the next part.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay. Part 30 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So I'm going to use this as a clarification video. So we're going to use part 30 as a stop. Let's clarify some things. I've done that before on a previous set of videos. So I think it's just important to do that. So that way I can try to address some of the things that I have seen in the comments, both supportive and just downright mean. But let me clarify some stuff. Number one, it is important to remember that I am telling this entire story of how I met, dated, married, and divorced my pathologically lying ex-husband. I am going in chronological order of events. So what that means is that, ma'am, sir, whoever you are, if you were coming in at part 30, but you have not seen part 11, some stuff is not going to make sense. I know. It is a long playlist. And don't worry about watching the video as soon as it comes out, because everything, I'm trying to do this responsibly of telling the story in the order of which things happen. So I say that to say, please, if you're able to, start at the introduction disclaimer video, start with part 1, and then just watch each video, because a lot of the questions people are having that I'm seeing in the comments, and I say this respectfully, is just because you did not go to the other videos and watch them in order. That's just the first thing I want to say. It is important that I get this story out, but that it's done, like I said, responsibly.
Yeah.
To me, responsibly is being honest, even if it makes me look bad, but then also trying to be clear and not ramble all over the place. So I'm trying to take the time to tell you, this is what happened at this time. This is what happened at that time. That's why there's so many parts. And we're not even to the part of the divorce yet. We're almost there, but we're not there yet. Second thing I want to clarify, I cannot stress this enough. My family and my friends did not know what was going on between Legion and I. They did not know. My family only knew we've met this guy. He's dating our daughter, our niece, our cousin, our granddaughter. He seems to be a really nice guy. He seems
Bye, Aaron. I'll text you later.
to really love her. From what he has told us, he's done well for himself. He played football. And he has worked at this company 6-7 years, and financially he is in a good place. From what we understand, he just moved here from California. That is what they knew. They did not know about the red flags I had. They did not know what was going on in my head. They did not know what was going on in my heart, because I did not want to look stupid.
Yeah.
I'm fully aware that when I tell this story, I look stupid. I'm aware, and I made my peace with that. But at the time, I did
I don't think she looks stupid at all.
not want to look stupid. So it was important to me to put on everything's great. We're really happy. We're looking for a house and everything's going well, knowing full well that behind scenes, I couldn't figure out why he wasn't showing proof of funds.
Yeah.
They did not know. So I say that to say, I see the comments about how my aunt gave me horrible advice when I called her about the sexting on Facebook. And I want to clarify something. She did not tell me to stay with him. She did not tell me to leave him. That's not her place. And that's not what she would do. She simply was in shock that any of this had happened and did not know what to give me advice on. The one thing that she did say was, look, he's not your boyfriend. Meaning it ain't as simple as, oh, we're just going to break up. Pack your shit and go. Because you married him.
Yeah.
Ma is the most ride or die chick I've ever met. You fuck with me, you fuck with her. And she is straight Jersey. So I love her for it. But I need it to, it's not fair for me to leave it out there as if, oh, she just was like, I mean, go home and deal with it. No, never in a million years. So I want to clarify that. I also want to clarify about my mom. So my mom lived in Arkansas. And when she came to visit in April, we were already married. This is her first time physically meeting Legion. My mom will tell you, she had no idea anything was amiss.
Wow.
But there was something that nagged her a little bit. She didn't know what it was. And my mom is the type where she's going to get on her knees in prayer. That's who she is. So for her, it was like, I don't know what it is. He seems like a nice guy. He seems to love my daughter. Because again, there was no arguing in the house. The house was peaceful while she was here, even though behind the scenes, we had just came off of the whole sexting incident with other women. So for her, it was like, I don't know what it is. She did tell me later on that
if you came in late, she had checked his phone and he was DMing with like 7 different women. And she said it was like hardcore stuff that he was saying. Like when they got married, all the sexual relations like stopped. And she said that he was like treating her like this mother like, you know what I mean? Like treating her this way, but like talking to these women in a whole other way. It's also crazy too how her mom like felt something. She was like, he seems nice enough, but something's off. And it's so relatable because I feel like moms always know. Like every asshole I've dated in my life, and I'm like, oh no, they're great. They would never. My mom's like, there's something wrong. There's some like moms just know. Moms just know. They just do.
It seemed as if I wasn't as happy as she thought I would have been. But again, she took it to the Lord in prayer. And her prayer was, God, protect my child. I don't know what's going on, but protect her. That was my mom's response. So she did not know. She did not pick up or overhear something that was going on while she was here. She had candid conversation with Legion, and Legion kind of came across as, I miss my mom. He missed his own mother, and so he called my mom, and doted on her. Again, putting on a charade. And so for her, it was like, bless his heart. That's what she said. Bless his heart. But no, she did not know the specifics. Nobody knew the specifics. They didn't know the specifics until we're talking May, June of 2021. They knew that we were looking for a house. They knew that the house fell through. They did not know about the proof of funds. They did not know that he wouldn't show me the savings account, the offshore account. So I just want to say that because to me, it would be irresponsible to not clarify what family and friends knew, because these people have always been supportive of me, always had my back. I just simply did not share with them the things that I felt like were red flags, because again, my mindset at the time was, I want to be married. And what if he isn't lying? And, I was making excuses for him to myself. So I definitely would have made excuses to family. Another thing I need to clarify. And I saw the comments on this about how a VP would never date someone that looked like me. And to the person that wrote it, that wasn't very nice. I need you all to understand the relationship started in March of 2020. He came into my life as regional manager. Okay. That is how he came into my life. Then eventually he got promoted to VP of production or operations, some VP of something. That was later on in the relationship. He showed me the paperwork where it was basically a memo from HR. Your new position title will be VP of production. We'll just say production. Your salary, I don't remember the exact amount because it was a very specific amount, but it was over $200,000.
Wow.
It listed some of the benefits that he would have. He would have an office. He would be getting an executive assistant. That's where we get David from. If you don't know who David is, please go back and watch the series in order. He will be getting an executive.
Is Willie real? I'm going to be very upset if we find out Willie isn't even real.
Assistant. He would be getting use of the company helicopter. He would be getting a company car. That is where we're introduced to the fact that he was starting to shop for a company car that could not be more than $90,000. That's what he told me. I didn't see this in the memo, the amount of the car, but that's what he told me. So that's where you get the car shopping for the Range Rover, the Jaguar, the BMW. He even test drove a Mercedes GLE, I believe. So I'm just trying to, again, bring some clarity to this so that way we all can understand what's going on. And hopefully this just makes a lot more sense for everyone. All right. Part 31.
That was part 1 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? I will have part 2 on the way. Make sure you like, comment down below what you think about all of this, and subscribe to the channel. You want to turn on the notification bell so that you can be...
I'm going to subscribe. Don't worry. All right, you guys. So I know this person has another playlist, and I think it's like 31 to 40 something. So I can't watch it all right now. And it's going to drive me nuts until I can watch it again because I'm so into this. But I'm thinking maybe another late night react. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Like if Foodie goes live or does anything like that, we can come back later and then we'll knock out a whole bunch of them. Did he get the company car? Not yet, right, you guys? I don't think he ever got it. Reptile said Willie was the security guy that wasn't at the building to let them in when she wanted to visit it. Kara said that type never get this stress like a real person would feel. They would lie without a sweat. Yeah, this is a professional. So many women. I'm sure he's still doing the same shit. It was so good. Okay, you guys, don't watch the rest without me. Please don't. We have to watch this together. Like I said, this is my new favorite reality show. I hope it gets turned into a movie or something. I think it would be incredible. And you guys, I want to remind you, she seems to be doing amazing now. I heard that she got her trip. She's going to have her trip to London. So good things are in store for her. And boy, does she deserve them. Like she deserves it all. I hope she's having like the best sleep she's ever had in a while. And I hope she feels supported most of all. Like I feel bad people are even being mean to her about it, to be honest. But I hope she sees all the support and that outweighs like the negativity. He never gets a car. Interesting. All right, you guys. So keep a lookout for me later. I would love to continue this. We are going to continue it. It's just a matter if we can pull it off tonight or tomorrow morning. But I'm going to try so hard tonight because I don't think I could go another 24 hours without watching this. It is the Breezy Bunch date night. Yes. Who the F did I marry and chill? I love it. It's perfect, Matthew. I wish her the best too, Mandy. She really deserves it all in life. I have a feeling she has plenty of good things in store. She has like the right attitude. She has a good heart. Like she has good things coming. All right, you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I will see you guys for more of this hopefully later. Bye, everybody. Woof, woof, baby.